My name is Keston Glasgow, and I'm a real estate investor that became a high-performance coach in personal development over time. This one thing is the key to all my success. Consistency is this thing. Consistency to me means being able to do something over a long period of time, over and over and over and over. And I feel like for me, if I'm able to be consistent, I'll be much better than somebody who is super talented. I think consistency outpaces anyone that's talented any day. Now, someone that's talented may start off and have a lot of energy and feel like they're super skillful. And I remember being in classrooms with really talented people, really smart, and they would run, and it's almost like running a 100-meter race, right? And they would get off and think it's a 100-meter race, but it's really a marathon. And consistency would absolutely pass this person, like let's say after like 400 meters. And every single time in school, in work, entrepreneurship, I have maintained consistency to outpass people who are way more smart than me, that was way more talented than I was. Consistency conquers all. Consistency is everything. In my career, consistency has taken us to having a $10 million real estate portfolio. So it's like calling sellers, right? Calling sellers is something that they just don't do it as much as they should. People get bored. That's the problem. People get bored, and so they stop doing something. They start it and then they stop because they're like, well, I did this yesterday. I know, you gotta do it again today. You gotta do it every day. And you gotta do it for a long period of time. And so when it comes to consistency, I think most people stop because they get bored of doing something over and over. And so being able to get past caring about if it's exciting or not, then you can remain consistent. I mean, think about it, right? Like when you have a job, you do things because you have to. And so you go to your job and you do the same thing over and over and over. You don't complain because you get paid for it. But when you become an entrepreneur, you want to make things exciting and you want to feel great about it. Like just do the same thing over and over and remain consistent. And calling sellers, like if you're just starting and you don't have a VA and all that type of stuff, or even if you have a VA and you got to make your follow-up calls, you got to do that consistently. It might be boring and you may get rejected, all that type of stuff, but remaining consistent and making the amount of calls you need to be able to get the deals that you need is what you need to do to be successful in this real estate game. And that's exactly what made me successful in this real estate game. But consistency hasn't only helped me in my career, it's helped me in my health too. So recently I posted a picture on social media and somebody was like, man, what's your biceps routine? And I'm like, consistency. Because it's like, I don't have a bicep routine or some special thing that I do. When people see my body, they're like, man, what do you do? And it's like, I show up and I work out consistently. Like this body, and I don't think I have the most amazing body or health ever, but I've been consistently going for the last 13 years. Just been doing it over and over and over. I hardly miss days, much less a week. In the last 10 years, I hardly missed a week of workout. Even when I go on trips and vacations, I consistently still work out. Why? Picture being in China and you're like this bullet train going at 150 miles an hour and you stop, you've lost all momentum. But if you can keep some level of consistency and you slow down even to like 75, when you try to accelerate again, it's a lot easier to continue going at 75 than at 0. And so consistency, staying consistent, allows you to keep the momentum in your life. And so like when it comes to my health, I've just done the same thing over and over and over consistently over a long period of time until I don't even think about it anymore. It's just something that I do automatically. And so this is what I've done to remain and to have a decent looking body in my health. I've just been consistent. It's crazy, but I even use consistency in my relationships. So my wife and I, we're gonna be married 5 years this year. And we have probably missed 3 weeks of date nights. We consistently date each other like every single week. We make sure that that's one of the non-negotiables in our relationship. Even if, like, I remember times where we got into arguments, but we still needed to go on date night. And so we're mad at each other on a date night, but that consistency makes us make things up. Like, I consistently open the door for her when we go on date nights. And so imagine being mad, opening the door and closing the door. Like, you just still gotta do it, but over time, it makes you feel better, because in this habit that we've created for each other, even when we're mad, at some point you're gonna realize, like, dude, like, chill out, you're being stupid at this point, right? And another thing that we consistently do is every time we go to the gym together, we hold hands. That's something we've been doing for years. Again, regardless of the mood that we're in, we hold hands and we pray together. We consistently do this every single time we go to the gym together, which is a few times a week. And so it allows and breaks whatever feelings, whatever emotions. If it's negative, it breaks it. If it's positive, it heightens it. So keeping like this consistency in my marriage has definitely helped my marriage to go far beyond what I thought. Here's another thing that we do in my marriage. We consistently say affirmations to each other every day. So we started doing this in our business simply because we had a lot of challenges when we started working together. And so we said affirmations. We started saying affirmations, and some of the affirmations we said was, we are a team, we are one, we communicate effectively and in love, we support each other, and the list goes on. But every single thing that we said was because of a challenge that we were having. But every time we said it to each other, the consistency of saying it to each other made us become a better team, made us actually support each other. And so it's almost like fighting our own paradigms in this consistency, saying the things even though they're not today, but the consistency of being able to say to each other helped us to become better teammates, helped us to become better lovers, helped us to make the marriage like phenomenal. So I think it's clear all of the benefits that consistency has to offer. Here's how you could do it. So to become consistent, I think a lot of people really complicate it. And there's this relationship between consistency and discipline. I think you need to have both. And so to build consistency, I would say start with discipline. And here's the things that you could do. How I started was, I started making up my bed every single day for a month. And once I was able to get out of bed, make my bed up every day for a month, it gave me discipline, and then the month time gave me consistency. So the discipline is doing the thing, consistency is doing it over time. And so the second thing that I did, and now I started to stack these skills, was to put my shoes in the right place when I got home from work. And so the discipline again is to put the shoes away over time. So once I started doing it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I'm like, okay, this is awesome. Because now I'm making up my bed and now I'm putting my shoes back. And that gives me the discipline and consistency doing it over time. And then I started to stack, not putting clothes on the ottoman, not leaving dishes in the sink. All these different things stacked upon each other where it gave me the discipline, and then it just became who I was in building consistency. So I think to be able to be consistent, you gotta be disciplined in doing something, and then doing it over time is what gives you consistency. So I want you guys to really work on being consistent. And if it is that you found this video super helpful to you, like, subscribe, follow this page, and let me know. Comment below. Let me know if this has been helpful, because I want to give you guys a lot of gems so that you could become your own boss.